What we are doing today is drawing a picture of a snowman doing a fun winter activity. We are imagining, just like what do snowmen do at night, we're imagining what our snowman will do at nighttime. And so I drew very lightly with pencil the snowman. I decided to make my snowman sledding. And I am going to color in all of the snow white. And I mentioned that you can sort of see it glisten in the light if you tip it. And I also made little dots for snow. You can make snowflakes just with little dots of crayon, or you can make snowflakes that look like that if you want. Keep it simple because I have another way of adding snow as well. So I can do some dots, and I'm going to color in my snowman white to show the snow. I would do the white first, and then you need to add the rest of the color. This snow in the background also needs to be colored white too. Work little by little to make sure you get everything you need to colored. For the detail of my snowman, whatever is not snow needs to be colored in. The nose and your clay snowmen are on display, so just think of what you added to try to draw it as accurately as possible. So I'm going to do a reddish, this is kind of red-orange, nose. I'm going to do black for the coal in the mouth and buttons. I'm going to do black for the eye. And maybe I want purple goggles. So I'm going to do the purple goggles. Adding the color is important too because that adds some character to your snowman. I'll do the earmuffs purple as well. Color it in as solidly as you can. I now finished coloring my snowman. I colored pretty hard, so it's a nice solid color, and I made sure to color the snow with a white crayon. Now you'll see where I colored the white after I colored the purple and the pink, it sort of got into the white. That's okay, because this next step is going to be very neat. If you want to do this step, you need to have your hands free. You are not coloring right now. You are watching, so you know what to do. This tray has a water cup with a watercolor brush, some really dark blue, it looks almost black. This is watercolor, liquid watercolor. And I also have a little container of really big, coarse salts. And I'll show you what to do. Kellen, could you bring me a messy mat, please? You'll want to have a piece of paper or a messy mat down underneath. Thank you. And the first step, you need to watch closely, this is very important. The first step is just dipping your brush in water and doing, after I wipe all the little crayon wax pieces off. Thank you, Seth, for just watching with your hands free. I'm just showing you right now what to do so you know what to do when it's time. I'm going to just dip my brush in the water and brush. This is called a watercolor wash. Everyone say watercolor wash. Watercolor wash. Notice how there's little beads of water that form. Look at that huge one right there. Wax, which is what crayons are made of, do not like water. And so it doesn't soak in, and the water just sits on top. That is how we are going to get our effect for our crayon resist. This is just a wash of, well, water. Work a little fast and keep dipping back in to get water. Now, once I cover my whole paper with water first, Then I'm going to dip my brush in the blue and watch what happens. I am going to brush. I don't have much blue down here, but I'm going to brush the whole thing with blue. Oh, that will look kind of like a shadow, which will look neat. But I mostly have snow. Brush the whole thing. Did you see how many times I went back to get more paint, more watercolor? You have to make sure your brush stays wet. Now, I do have some beads of water. This is left over. I'm going to take a paper towel. Oh, I forgot my last step. What was the other thing I had on my tray? Salt. Now, I'm just going to soak up some of this water that's just sitting on the crayons. And it does look like my snowman is in the nighttime because even the snow has a bluish tint to it, and that's good. It looks like there's a shadow under my sled too. But while your watercolor is still wet, you can, I might get some more dark paint, make it even darker. Then while your paper is still wet, you can, if you would like, take some of this salt and sprinkle it on. The salt is going to soak up. Do you see how there's a little lighter ring that it's forming around it?
Oh, yeah.
The salt is soaking up the watercolor, and if you leave it on and don't touch it, when it dries, it will make even more snowflakes because it will soak up the watercolor. And then once it's dry, we can brush off the salt and it will show little snowflakes falling on top of your beautiful snowflakes you drew. That is the last step. You do not want to touch this at all. Don't touch the salt. Don't move it around. You can carefully, like I did, soak up any puddles of blue if you want to. That usually looks nice. You have paper towel at your table. But don't rub, just press and lift. This goes in the garbage. And when you're done, you will put this on the drying rack.